Hey everyone, it's Jeff Fisher of High School Football America, joined today by Matt Walters from East Stroudsburg South in the Pocono Mountains, back by my hometown, a little north of the Lehigh Valley. Matt, thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about a pretty cool opportunity you have with the Tampa Bay Bucks coming up, but thanks for the time today.
Jeff, thank you. Always great talking with you, and we love what you do for football, for high school football, and always a pleasure to talk with you.
Well, thank you very much. And it's always good to talk to my hometown. I mean, you can take the boy out of Pennsylvania, but not Pennsylvania out of the boy, is what I always like to say.
That's right.
Anyway, so for the second year in a row, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are doing the National Coaching Academy. And out of nearly 1,000 applicants, you were drawn from the hat, one of 25 finalists that will be going there a couple of weeks, beginning of May, to take part in this coaching academy. Man, you're going to be treated first class as the NFL only can do. So let's just kind of start from there. Like when you heard that you were going to get this opportunity, what were you thinking?
I read the email probably 5 or 6 times, being like, all right, is this legit? Is this a congratulatory letter saying that I was selected? It's so humbling, and I'm so excited. Just what you mentioned, first class organization out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had their first inaugural class last year with this program, and all the comments and all the stories that I read up on, they used the word first class so many times. And I'm so honored to be a part of this little piece of the 25 that are going to be spending a week down there. But yeah, when I got that first email, called the wife right away. And then again, I was just making sure, all right, is this a confirmation that I was selected? But very excited for this opportunity.
Well, in May, I think it stopped snow. Well, let's see. My brother just told me that you guys had snow a couple of days ago, so you can get some nice weather down there. Tell me a little bit what got you all fired up to fill out the application and get a stab at being chosen out of 1,000 people.
Yeah, I first saw it in these algorithms on social media, Jeff. As a Giant fan up here, in Northeast Pennsylvania, I don't follow the Bucks on social media, but whatever happened, I was scrolling through, and there it is this whole thing about high school football coaches, college coaches. Are you interested in this once in a lifetime opportunity? So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, this popped up on my phone for some reason. So you know what? I'm going to go for it. So, I open up the application, I send it in, don't really think much of it. Told the wife, told my coaching buddies, like, hey, I saw this opportunity. I just threw my name out there. Let's see what happens. And a couple weeks later, I get an email saying, we're interested. We love your resume, but we want to know a little bit more. So they continue the interview process. The video interview process was very neat. They throw you right in the action and say, let's see what you know. Then I heard back, I think a month or two later, that email accepting me into the program. So just a whirlwind of events, and it was very neat to see how the Bucks, what video clips they threw at you, what do they want you to know, and hey, if we throw this play at Matt, can he dissect it? Can he coach it? It was a really fun time recording that process.
Well, everybody says the Lord works in mysterious ways. My line is he really doesn't work in mysterious ways. There was a reason, like you said, that popped up on your social media to happen that way. Hey, let's talk a little bit about your coaching experience. You're a young guy, especially compared to my age and all that. Let's talk to the people around the nation watching this. So you're the head coach at East Stroudsburg South. Again, that's in Northeast Pennsylvania. But what got you into coaching? When did you get started? What kind of got you all up and excited about putting a whistle around your neck?
Yeah, well, I always love to tell the story of my high school football coach, Coach Ed Christian, who's in the Pennsylvania Hall of Fame,
I love them.
and he was the best. And from a young age, when I was in the youth programs, you looked up to Coach Christian. You could not wait to wear the purple and white for Coach Christian. And when you finally got into his program, once you reach high school, man, what a man to just listen to and learn the game of football. Not only did he teach you the game of football, he taught you how to love the game of football, how to respect the game of football. So I went through his program. We were very successful, championship after championship. He had that championship culture built here at East Stroudsburg. And I became obsessed with the how. How can Coach Christian hit a small town in the Pocono Mountains at this state level year in and year out? And I started coaching with him when I was in college. and just learning not just the X's and O's, but the whole culture thing of how he handles parents, how he handles the fans, how he handles a pregame practice to a Friday night. I became obsessed with learning all those little things about it. And when I took over the program in 2019, it it was the same exact program. Who am I to change a successful championship culture? And I'm just trying to protect the tradition that Coach Christian has built. This is his program. I know that I've been here for about 7-8 years now, but his blueprint is all over this place, and that will never change.
Yeah, quite the man, quite the coach, no doubt about that. By the way, if you go to highschoolfootballamerica.com, I'll put up a picture because I've always said this. And again, I'm a little biased and from Pennsylvania, but the pit there, the purple pit you guys have, it's one of my most picturesque football stadiums in the nation. Like I said, a little biased, but it's pretty cool, right? I mean, it's
We have one of the best, Jeff, as you know, and we're starting to we're getting a new scoreboard.
oh,
Coach Christian's name is right out front here when you walk through those gates. It's a beautiful stadium. It's a great
well, the
place to
metal
watch a
stands,
Friday night game.
the noisy stands.
The noisy stands. Yeah, that's still there. The band is still rocking and rolling. It's a fun place to be on Friday nights, Jeff, as you know.
And for the people here on NFL Play Football, I thought we'd touch on one of the greats, one guy that I got to cover when I was working there in the Lehigh Valley, James Mungro. Boy, when I even say his name, I can see some of those runs that he had. Where did you fall into being where Jim when James was at the school?
Jeff, I was 5 years old when mom and dad would park right outside the stadium, and I didn't understand the magnitude of what a great player he was, but I just remember sitting in the stands with mom and dad and just watching him run. And at 5 years old, you think, oh, this is high school football. Yeah, he's really good. But no, he was nationally a great player. And he actually stopped by. He was with us. He was in this coach's office last year during our big rivalry game against the Strousburg Mountaineers, hyping the boys up for the game. So he gives back to our community. But what a strong piece of Cavalier culture. Went on to Syracuse and went on to the Indianapolis Colts. Caught a couple touchdowns from Peyton Manning in his career. So he is a staple, and he's a true blue blood of Cavalier football.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, was he 3,000 plus one year, his senior year, or something crazy like
He
that?
was.
And
Yeah,
and
his
I the
junior
other
year, he was 3,000.
yeah, and then I remember you guys were making a deep run in the playoffs, and if I'm not mistaken, you played like a playoff game, a Thanksgiving Day game, and then a deep playoff game, all like 3 games in 8 days. Is memory serving me
That's it,
correct, or
three
am
and
I
eight.
too old now?
No, Jeff, you are spot on. Your memory is fantastic. You are correct. It was the playoff game, Thanksgiving Day game against Stroudsburg, and then right into the state game as well.
Plymouth White
So
Marsh. There we go.
Plymouth White March, there you go. And I believe that was at Pleasant Valley High School, if I'm not mistaken.
All
But
right, for getting that right, I need you to send me a Cavs t-shirt. No, I'm just teasing.
Jeff, we got you. They'll be coming in the mail shortly.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, at 5 years old, you didn't know James Mungro. You were watching a future NFL player. That's a good story. Let's talk about some of the things that you love the most about this game at this point in time. It's changed, from when we were young, right? It was a 3-4 month gig a year, and now it's round the clock, right? 365 days, passing camp, 7-on-7, all that. What's the thing that gets you up every morning so excited to be in this profession?
I think every coach is going to answer the players that you are surrounded with. And especially at the high school level, what I love most, Jeff, is that we have such a great pipeline here in East Stroudsburg. Again, a small town, loves their football. So we have our youth program. So we are meeting these kids at 7 years old, 8 years old, kind of like what I was when I used to go into the stands and watch, and I couldn't wait to play for Coach Christian. So you're seeing them grow up through your program. They hit the middle school program. You're watching them. Then they get into the high school. And here they come as 13, 14-year-old boys. And as they grow through your program, and you say goodbye at 18. And even though that this is only year 7 for me as head football coach, I'm having my groups now. They're graduating college. They're getting married. They're starting to become fathers. And just to see that all come into place, it's truly special, and that's what gets you going.
And
You can
you're
forget
becoming
about
old
the
is what's
wins and losses.
happening. You're becoming old is what's happening.
Oh, Jeff, see, I try to word it a little bit differently, but yes, but that's where I was getting
And
at.
now I'm not getting the T-shirt, and I've called you old. Let's wrap up with a couple. Getting back on topic here, the fact that you're going down to Tampa Bay to be a part of the Bucks National Coaching Academy. Again, you're beyond excited with this. I mean, what are your expectations going in? Were you able to draw anything out of the application process and the interview process? What do you expect?
Yeah, I expect when I walk into Tampa, I'm going to be surrounded by the best coaches in the world, with Todd Bowles at the helm and what he has done in his career. And to just sit, and I'm just looking to learn how he got there and what was the path and what's the true experience of being in the National Football League. Talk about the hours, talk about the dedication that you need to pour into your program, talk about your family life, and just learning all of those things. And I also want to show them, my enthusiasm, my passion for this sport. At East Stroudsburg, we play football differently. We take a deep dive into analytics. So I would love to learn more about that at a professional level. But I'm just looking for an awesome week. I'm looking to be surrounded by the best coaches, the 25 that they selected to pick their brains as well. And I just want to learn more about this great game, Jeff.
I think you are going to have an awesome time, and all I'm going to ask of you, aside from the T-shirt, is that you come back on here when you get back from Tampa Bay and spend a little bit of time with us and let us know what you learned down there at the National Coaching Academy. How's that?
Yeah, Jeff, I would love to do that as well, man.
Thanks for taking the time with us today.
All right. Thank you, Jeff.